making me stronger. Ain't no love like a real love, but it goes so fast. All tied up like a captive. I'm on to you. Used to pit in my mind like standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I know my patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger, Ain't no luck finding real love. Gotta know where to look. Time moves fast, and I've grown up. Yeah, I run to you. Used to pit in my mind like standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I know my patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger, What can I do to make you stay a little longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a little longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Ain't no love like a real love, but it goes so fast. All tied up like a captive. I'm on to you. Used to pit in my mind like standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I know my patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pleb League PS4 Season 6 Qualifiers. My name is Sticula, and tonight, for this matchup, I'm joined by Pew in the casting booth. What are your thoughts going into this match?
Honestly, I think it's just going to be more of a shock to people that I am indeed not a man. But this match is going to be good. It's going to be interesting to see Fraggin out, who is normally a Rutabaga team, going against Symphonic, which is a classic potato team. And I got the stats up here, so I'll be kind of doing your stats back up here just throughout the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important to kind of draw the connection. How, obviously Symphonic usually come out on top. They're considered to be kind of the, I would say almost kind of the flagship team for Potato. Oftentimes, it can be decided, who is going to be leaning more towards Sweat or, maybe more towards Rutabaga. And Fragging out, while they've had maybe a little bit of a stumble so far, they've actually been improving a little bit. As far as their record in the qualifier, Symphonic has seen 2 ties. That was versus AGNT on Clubhouse, and then versus Misfits recently on Coastline. Whereas Fragging out, they took a tie as well. Funny to note, they both played on Clubhouse and Coastline, so they kind of mirrored the map pool, which is interesting. But Fragging out, they tied on Clubhouse, but then they took a 7-1 victory versus IMK on Coastline. Do you think that really can be seen as, maybe a turning point for them? Maybe it has anything to do with roster changes they made recently?
Oh, it's for sure going to be on roster changes. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. On Symphonic side, we've got Mason, who is Abakaxi, as well as Slursh, KJ, and Cody. Those were the original one, and now they're pulling in Riley's, who has not played for this team before. Now, on the other side of Fragging out, they've got Domestic, Steel, Creel, and Skills, who are the normal ones, and now they've added Bougie. Bougie and I believe Loud. So this will be interesting to see. It's probably going to make it a little bit more balanced, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely getting the rosters changed. There's been a lot of hype really surrounding this match, and I think it has a lot to do with getting all of these roster changes in. Having all of these new players, this matchup is really giving them their first opportunity to prove themselves, and it also just gives to the team an overall chance to show how they've been improving, working hard in scrims to improve their coordination, their teamwork, and really just their overall skill level coming in. And I think it's going to give us a good window to see how both of these teams will perform moving into Season 6. Okay. So, heading first to Dining Room, I guess we're going to be seeing a little bit of that tertiary bomb site being played here from the side of Symphonic. Interesting to see them choose this over a more traditional site like we would see in Aviator. Taking a look at the lineup, the Pulse is, I think, a really good operator to be bringing here. Having him and his cardiac sensor provides a ton of really good intel that you can't really get with, more traditional info ops like a Valkyrie. And we see a lot of Pulse play here, not only because he can kind of look down into pantry from near speakers, but also he can use his gadget in combination with a Nitro Cell to obviously take out players above him in the master bedroom. Okay. So,
yeah, and the person to watch on Fraggin outside right now, since they're on attack, is Domestic. Domestic has so far in the last 2 games of Division qualifiers has reached a 1.82 KDR with 20 kills. So it's kind of going to be the one to watch for Fraggin outside.
Yeah, and I mean, with the IQ LMG, I believe that's what he's got equipped for the loadout. You really have to be worrying about him. You can let your guard down for just a tiny bit, and then all of a sudden he'll just be in the objective building that KDR like you mentioned. And once you get a player like Domestick started, it's really hard to shut him down and really counter that. So I think we'll be looking towards more of the Nitro Cell game if they want to deny that early. Obviously, it looks like Domestick already getting in position above the bomb site. There could be a real problem coming soon if they fail to deny this.
Yeah, and while we're watching the vertical play right now, person to watch on Symphonic side is going to be Mason, who is playing Echo. And the PS4 side doesn't have the Echo problem. The Echo, well, it's been fixed since, but just just another thing to watch out for is Mason as well as Slurst, who have 1.92 KDR and 1.22 KDR.
Yeah, so things are going kind of slow this round. We're not seeing anybody get taken out just yet. Looks like only Cody took some damage. KJ going to find the first kill of the series. That's Loud off the board, so your Nomad taken out. And with 35 seconds on the board, Fraggin out, they need to make something happen, and they need to do it ideally right now. I mean, KJ is still roaming over here in Art Studio. They don't have basically any map control. Looks like the Thermite is going to peek out. KJ will find one off screen, and it'll be Riley's with the third kill right now. And all of a sudden, it's a 2v5. Looks like one player, Cody, did go down. The Maverick is going to have to push in and get something done. He'll be able to find one that's bougie with the kill onto Riley's. Dome Stick with one of his own. That's slurched off the board. All of a sudden, what was looking like a very unwinnable round could be done here. The plant does go down successfully. Bougie is going to get... Or actually, that'll be Dome Stick taken out. Bougie still alive here. He's going to have two more players to contest with, but he won't be able to do it. It'll be a nice clutch there from Mason. Looks like Symphonic take their first round here on Villa.
Yeah, and I have to say, I had to add in that, I mean, Fraggin out really waited until the last 30 seconds to do an actual move. And, like, all the action happened in the last 30 seconds. So it was a bit slow, and I wonder if it's just because it's, trying to warm up and get back into the groove of things.
It might also maybe have something to do with what they were planning in the early phase for the execute. Maybe they weren't exactly prepared to take onto that bomb site, and they were more focused on, what are we going to have to do if they go over towards Aviator. But now, that's what they'll have to be worrying about. We do see them, it'll be Symphonic, switch over to that bomb site after a successful defensive victory on Dining Room. Interesting to see an Ela pick. Obviously, Ela can be a very influential operator, but we don't see her a lot on Aviator, so it's a little bit unusual. One potential use case I could see for her using her Gersmont mines, maybe placing them at the top of the study staircase, so when somebody tries to push up, they're going to get concussed, and then you can swing out to try and take them out. But other than that, I think it's really hard to justify her over some other operators that you might want here on Aviator, maybe focusing more towards something that can provide you more intel. We do have the Echo, obviously, here, so the intel game, not a super huge problem, but still, we'll have to wait and see really what the Ela's plan is here, and I'm interested to see the exact strategy behind this. We might actually have to ask, the thought behind this if we do go for a post-game interview. I'm not sure what kind of theatrics we'll have to do to get somebody in here, but that would be probably one of the first questions. The rest of the lineup, pretty standard stuff. I guess the castle could be slotted as unusual here on Aviator and Games. Though, with a team like Symphonic, I think they're really focusing on trying to get down the basics, and that could be, maybe key to shutting down Fragging out. Right now with the lineup from them, they do have two hard breachers, and they do have two soft breachers as well in the form of the Zofia and the Ash from Loud and Skills, respectively. So I don't think the castle really going to be too important here, especially without the presence of a Wamai. So it looks like we're going to be seeing a master side take from the likes of Fragging out, just getting positioned here on the east balcony. They might have somebody droning them in here. It's going to be a smart play. You don't exactly want to give this up for free or lose that early pick. We've also got the Maverick outside of classical window, just repelled here, waiting for maybe an opportunity to repel in. If 90 is unguarded and they can get some hard breaching going on there on the vault wall early, this could be a good look for them. It'll be the Maverick, repelled on in. Looks like he took a little bit of damage just then. I didn't see exactly who from, but it'll be interesting to see whether or not he's able to persist and establish a beachhead in that position. Creeping up the Astro stairs, Slursh looking for an opportunity. maybe catch somebody off guard. Grenade is going to go through the drone hole, maybe remove some of the utility inside of Vault itself. The camera still persisting. That could be a real problem. Taking it out now, they're going to have to deal with this precariously positioned deployable camera as well. Riley's will find his first kill of the round, taking down Loud. It'll be Mason with another one as well. Skills is off the board. Domestic going to find the refrag, though. Slurst is down. That's your Jaeger off the board. Cody looks like he wants to swing out here, and that could go very well for him, or it could go very badly. It looks like the attackers might be ready for somebody to push out just yet. We see the outline of the IQ player coming into the hallway, just doing a little bit of a pre-fire. And now Thermite will get the vault wall open. It's a really good window into the site here and can provide a good opportunity, but if they don't clear out this player inside of Aviator itself, that could be insanely problematic, and he could very well just swing out here and collect a ton of kills onto the already low manpower of Fragging Out. It'll be another kill from Mason here, doing a great job on the Echo in this round, and the execute, once again, from Fragging Out is not looking completely solid. The IQ taking some damage, Thermite swinging in here, looks like he might be going for a plant, and that's be exactly what it is. The IQ taken down, they'll just have to swing in here. Looks like the Thermite came off of the plant, trying to deal with the Echo and maybe get a kill here. They could equalize to make this a possibility, but with 13 seconds on the clock, I think Thermite is just going to save his KD. It's really not good odds for him here. He will swing. Nope. Can't find any kills. That'll be another round in the bag for Symphonic. Steel Krill will find one. Oh, not able to find the second one, though. That was a little close. I thought Steel Krill might have been able to come back there, but unfortunately, no. The prone from KJ, and he won't be able to make it.
And I was quite surprised that he might have actually pulled that off. That would have been a huge blow to Symphonic just early on in the game, just to get beaten by that.
So, taking a look at how Symphonic really had their strategy set up there, do you think that Fragging Out really had the best application of their strategy to try and defeat that? Because it seemed like what they were trying to do maybe was good in theory, but their execution was kind of poor, to be frank.
No, I agree. I think it's they have a great they've got a great concept, they've got a great strategy, and then it just kind of falls apart. Especially with that last one where we saw, what was it, Thermite, who had ACOG. I mean, if he had swung in, like, of course this is all hindsight 2020, but if he had swung in just to flick over that fast, it would have been a bit difficult. That, and I think it came down to gun skill, to be honest.
Right, and that can be a pretty deciding factor in a lot of these rounds, especially on a site like Aviator, where when you're just running what seems to be a little bit of a modified default strategy here from Symphonic, the strategy isn't really the difference maker. It's how you're executing, and like you mentioned, your gun skill. Can you back up your execute with the gun skill necessary in order to pull that off? But with that successful round victory, a close clutch there on Aviator, we will be switching over to Statuary. This will be the final round for the rotation from the defenders. They'll have an opportunity. If they go up 3-0 here, I think that's a good position for them on the first half, even if they fail to take these next 3 rounds. But obviously, or from what we've seen so far, I don't think Symphonic are really going to struggle to come out of this half, 4-2, and quite possibly, even 5-1 if Fraggin Out can't seem to get their attacks under control.
But the thing is, I've been noticing the last 2 rounds, and I know it's still early on, but Fraggin Out, I mean, every single round they could have won it. It just came down to, did they execute it or not? And were they working together? Now, Symphonic mentioned that they finally have, their 5 starters, and they finally got the groove down. So maybe that's what we're seeing. Maybe it's just watching them kind of unfold.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that viewpoint here, and from what we're seeing in this round, it looks like they're going to be going for a little bit of a sneaking play kind of into the bottom floor over by the memorial room. Bucci is already in position here in the walk-in closet. Looks like he just took out an ADS, so there'll be a little bit of utility removed. Somebody, I believe, just on the other side of that wall there, so that's probably the Bandit, I would imagine, getting ready to trick it. He can have some real problems, though, if the Maverick chooses to either A, open up the wall, obviously, or, B, open the top and, toss a nade in. If they don't have proper ADS coverage, like we saw, that one ADS was already removed, and with the IQ below, she could very well take out some more of the projectile denial utility from the side of Symphonic. There could be a very early pick on to the side of Symphonic. Looks like the Thermite will be successful in his job. It's a good use of the exothermic utility, and denying Riley's a good first step in establishing a solid execute here attacking Statuary. So it looks like we've came to a little bit of a stalemate here. 2 players down across the board. A little bit of Ashe's breaching around utility being used, possibly removing some barbed wire. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but still just kind of waiting for something to happen, and it's this late execute again from the side of Fraggin out. This time, I would say they do have a decent opportunity for a late round execute. Statuary, that's not too grievous. We see that happens because of the nature of the bomb site. And Skills is just in here. He's taking control of Aviator, or rather of Astronomy, creeping in now. He will get taken out. Some good game sense there by KJ. Be able to watch out for the player, and he's going to be able to find a second one, though the diffuser is planted successfully. So now it'll be moving into a post-plant. Steel Creel will find one. All left up to Cody. Will he be able to make the clutch? He's on low health, and he's got to deal with, the Thatcher, or rather Thermite, and Zofia. Zofia can really do a lot of work, and so, won't even have to worry about Zofia. Steel Creel with the headshot takes down Cody and secures Fraggin out their first round of this matchup.
Yeah, that prone must have thrown him off. That would have thrown me off as well.
Yeah, it's hard to predict something like that, especially when you have so much pressure in a clutch. Definitely have to give props, though, to Fraggin out. They were able to secure a really good start there, getting the wall open without, really much problem. And then they were able to, after their player died, they got the refract. So keeping things even, especially when you're in a post plant, super important. And I think they really just overall figured out something on that bomb site that maybe they can apply to dining room now, switching onto this attack. But it won't be the successful rotation from the defense. So that'll be one, point in their book for the side of Fraggin out. And I think they're still really alive and fighting in this matchup. Just 1-2 right now. As far as what we've got for the rest of the attack, 3 rounds yet to be played. Heading up next, we'll be seeing Dining. You have any thoughts on this bomb site? Maybe something that Fragging out could switch up if they want to take this, or you think maybe Symphonic are just going to stick to their guns here?
Well, I think this time Fraggin out actually knows. They have a better idea that they're going to this site. Whereas the first map, I mean, to be honest, I was quite surprised that they went to the first map. But then again, I'm also not a pro player or a very good player. So I think they might actually be a little bit more prepared. You can see that they've got Zofia, Ashe, Thermite, and Capitown at Q. So they might be playing that vertical play again, but this time it actually might be a little bit more strategic.
And I think that's really key here, especially if Symphonic aren't choosing to hold the top floor. As the attackers, when there's nobody up there contesting you, you really need to take that advantage and capitalize on it. In the last round, it seemed like while Fragging out had some control of the top floor, it really didn't translate into any picks or really any good control vertically. They weren't able to deny any positions from the defenders, especially inside of Dining itself by the table. If they had gotten more vertical play done, maybe deciding to bring something like a Buck or Sledge, I think could be key here. They do have quite a lot of opportunities to bring a little bit of soft breach operator by operator, primarily focused on breaching charges. That'll be Domestic, Ashe, and Zofia with the possibility to bring that gadget. But, if we don't see them get all of the floor opened up again, and I think really focus on getting an early pick here, I don't think there's really a good shot of them taking this in a very clean fashion. I think they can still get a late round execute maybe, and there's a chance they could get something done. KJ with the first kill. He's going to take out the Ash player, though loud. A nice trade to even things out, taking down Cody. That'll be the Wamai traded for the Ash. Losing skills so early like this, your Ash, kind of your spearhead operator, that could be kind of problematic later in the round. Thermite will place an exothermic charge, and it doesn't seem like Symphonic really has anything to be able to stop it. The wall of laundry will get opened up, and that's going to be a huge vulnerability inside of the objective.
Yeah, and if we go back to you saw that KJ was in the same position he was previously, so it seems like they have, Symphonic has somewhat rehearsed this, and they have their set positions, just based off of where KJ was. Now, that could all just be assumption, but he seems to be strong holding that spot, especially as he seems to be at the top of the kill board. With 8 kills, yeah, 8 kills.
I like what we're seeing from the offense on the top floor hold. They're not overextending too much inside of trophy and statuary. They're kind of just holding off, using as much as the vertical control as they need. And while we might not be seeing that have too much effect in this round, with the wall getting open, ouch, that's going to hurt. Steel Creel is down. KJ taken out early. Dome Stick and Limits, though, getting 2 picks back here. It'll be Slurshed and Riley's off the board. It's a 3v2 right now, fragging out in the advantage with 18 seconds on the clock. Mason trading things back. The Bandit, will he be able to find a second one, failing to connect onto the player? He spots the IQ, but failing to be able to make the shot here. It'll be left up to the player inside of Memorial. I don't think they know his position. There he is. He's on the Echo Drone, taken out. Don't Stick, I believe, with a 3K in that round as blue team fragging out, able to find their second round of the series and tie things up.
Yeah, and I'm going to say Fraggin Out is definitely the underdog here just because of the different divisions. But Fraggin Out is they are starting this game with a lot of heart, with a lot of motivation, because they probably don't have as much to lose as Symphonic does.
Yeah, definitely not. And if Symphonic lose here, it's really going to hurt their standings and could give Fraggin Out the opportunity maybe to move up to Potato Division and see a little bit more success. Ooh, unfortunately, we see 3 disconnects. I think we will be going to a rehost. Yeah, okay, there goes Domestic as well. So we will go to a quick break while we work things out. Stay tuned. We'll be right back to the broadcast.
So fast, all tied up like a captive. I want you. Used to pay my mind like standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I know patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Please stay a bit longer. You're so fast, all tied up like a captive. I want you. Used to pay my mind like standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I know no patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Ain't no luck finding real love. Gotta know where to look. Time moves fast, and I won't up. Yeah, I run to you. Used to pay my mind like standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I know no patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger.
Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are heading right back into our matchup here on Villa. Last round, to recap, we saw Fragging Out were able to find their second successful attack round onto the dining bomb site. So, trading things back 2-2. Now it's even here, and both of these teams will have an opportunity to take the lead. Symphonic could regain theirs, or Fragging Out could forge a new way here and possibly come out of this half on top. I think if Fragging Out are able to take another round here on the offensive half for Villa, in their favor, obviously, it's really, I would say, kind of problematic. When they switch over to defense, if Fragging Out are really rehearsed and they've got everything ready, I think they're going to kind of be out and in front of Symphonic. Though, obviously, things can really change there. Maybe if Symphonic are more practiced on their offenses as well, they could have something to show us here, and maybe they're kind of a team that's more focused to offense. But so far, Fragging Out, they've been making a good showing, especially considering, they're considered to be in the lower division.
Yeah, I agree with that. And even after that rehost, I would say usually one side gets more of a push, or it's like a little break to kind of come back, or possibly even just lose that momentum. So we'll see how that rehost affected both teams.
Yeah, it can really be detrimental to momentum, especially Fragging Out after, going down 2 rounds and then finding another 2. That would have been something nice to build off of. But they are giving Symphonic a little bit of a break there. Nobody likes rehosts, but they are an unfortunate reality because of the many prevailing bugs here. But with that, we will be going back to Aviator. Notably, last time we saw this bomb site, it was Symphonic on round 2. They were successful, and that was the only round that Fragging Out lost that they weren't able to get a plant down. So, probably I would say that's a sign their hardest struggle here. We did see it was a 1v1 clutch, I believe, between Thermite and Pulse. I don't exactly remember which players, but it came pretty close. But I think the fundamentals from the offense just weren't quite right. And maybe that's something, 4 rounds, nearly 5 in here, that they've got under wraps now. So Captain just completely pushing into study. Ella is playing that position I talked about earlier, sitting at the top of study stairs. The Ash will push in as well, and that's going to be the deployable shield remove, which will force KJ to rotate. Good use of the utility there. and pushing Ella out of that position is going to give them a solid advantage early in this round. Looks like KJ taking a little bit of damage onto skills, not enough to really do anything, but still contesting and really pushing back here inside of study. Thermite is going to have the opportunity to breach here, I believe, if the IQ goes below. I'm not exactly sure of her position, but if she does get that vertical play, here she is downstairs. She will remove one of those bandit batteries, and so that'll be a good start here for the offense. 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. They will, I believe, get ready to start breaching the wall, and so that'll be a solid angle to hold through the bomb site. And if Thermite is able to get both of these exothermic charges off without anything being done from the defense, he could get just an incredible amount of control and an angle that is really troubling to deal with. Loud getting in position here. So is Domestick at the top of landing. Slursh will take down Loud, so that'll be the Smoke finding a kill in this round. The opener going for Symphonic. Steel Creel goes down as well. Looks like Mason getting things done. Taking
that
down
was unfortunate.
Yeah. Trying to go for the revive, it looks like. Not exactly sure of what he wanted to do. Domestick will find Slursh. Trying to push up in the hallway here. Domestick on 100 health with the IQ LMG. Could get this round back to a point where it's winnable. But the Pulse, using his scanner through the wall. Domestick able to find a double kill here. It's 2 versus 3. Skills is on low health. Domestick taking quite a bit of damage from that engagement as well. The Diffuser in a very awkward position for Fraggin out, and with 13 seconds on the clock, they're going to have to rush for frags or try to retake it. It'll be a kill through the wall from Riley as he takes down Domestick. Asp with one more, but it'll be all for naught. Symphonic eSports take round number 5 with their second successful defense of Aviator Games.
Symphonic looked a lot more organized, as opposed to the previous round where they almost lost it, but thankfully to that prone, they were able to get it back. So that did look a lot more organized.
Yeah, that'll be good for them. Taking another round here puts us at 3-2 in favor of Symphonic. They will have really, I think, their best shot to take this final round. What we saw from the dining bomb site, Symphonic won it first, and then in round number 4, they lost it to Fraggin out, who it seemed really had superior control of the hard breach. I think maybe choosing to employ some impact tricking could be, maybe the way that they're able to win this here. The Thermite being able to open up the wall in Lingerie for free is really problematic for them, and I think, if they fail to really correct that here in this round, they're going to have a hard time winning it. Getting that wall open is kind of your final step as the offense in order to prepare for your execute. And, once you've got that done, basically from there you just push into sight and go for the plant, or you go to complete your execute and take out the last of the defenders. So, if they don't get that wall open, it's probably going to look good for Symphonic, but so far, without impact tricking, relying solely on the bandit in combination with, maybe nitros, it's not looking good, and the impact's not going to be used for the wall as well, so that'll be just focused on the top floor. Looks like Symphonic are going to switch things up a little bit. They didn't really hold the top floor on either of the other times they defended Dining Room, so maybe trying to stall out the attackers, waste some time here, and really give the defense an opportunity to just waste a ton of time, and so that when the execute comes, it'll be super late again, like we've seen from most of the Fraggin out executes here. Super early pick. Mason down. That's your vigil off the board. And, wasting time, like I mentioned, maybe the plan here, not exactly happening. The opening kill with 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock is almost unheard of, getting a pick that early. And it seemed like whoever else was up here has vanished. They're not going to be trying to contest that. Domestick will build onto the man advantage that they already had with a kill onto Cody through the holes of the floor. He's going to take a little bit of damage there, but with that, he will take down 2 bandit batteries before getting taken out himself by a nitro cell. Riley's was able to find one, I believe, inside a study, and so the man advantage that Fraggin out possessed is now gone. So 3-3. The wall is open, though, so that's 1 advantage for the offense. So we'll have the sight line into the objective, and then we'll have, I think, really an opportunity to compress this player playing on the table. Skills is just pushing in here. He's going to be able to find one. It's a double kill for him on the round, shutting down Slurshed, regaining the man advantage here with 1 minute and 15 seconds on the clock.
And that just showed good droning. Drone it out before you go in. Know where your enemies are. And he did exactly that. That was textbook.
Yeah. KJ making, I would say, a kind of a little bit of too aggressive play. You will get taken out and punished for it. The Ash, looks like the Jaeger and Ash kind of having a little bit of a ring around the rosy here. But fragging out, they will take round number 6 and end the half 3-3. So really even here. I think this match is definitely living up to its intensity and its hype that has been surrounding it for the lead up to the round 3 qualifiers here so far. Switching over to offense now for Symphonic, what do you think is really going to be the main difference here, or is there anything really key to note as we switch sides?
Time, not yet. I mean, it'll be interesting to see their first round on defense. But I'm hoping that, I mean, we saw a little bit of adaptation in that last round. I mean, although Visual did die within the first seconds of the match, there was that, hey, let's adapt to, they went right above us last time, let's try to put someone up there. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for Symphonic. Hopefully, Symphonic can be just as adaptable and just as on the move, and just changing and dynamic in their attack.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
So as we switch over, taking a look at maybe the setup from the side of Fraggin out, it's a little bit different, though we do still see the castle, which is an interesting departure. We talked about earlier how castle's usage on Aviator is maybe a little bit unusual, but nothing too crazy here. Castle can be a really solid foundation, especially on a lot of sites where you're going for a more turtle setup, which is, I would say, probably one of the 5 core truths of Siege, playing the castle to protect your objective. But taking a look at, kind of the rest of what we've got here, I think that Fragging out are kind of playing to forfeit control of Aviator, which is not something we see all too often. On other sites, I would say we see that sometimes, especially on Clubhouse. A lot of teams will, maybe forfeit control vertically or try and play a really kind of touch-and-go game where they don't hold map control really solid and consistently. They kind of dance around and try and waste time, which is, again, what we're seeing here. Hopefully, the Vigil player, it'll be Domestick, in this round will have more success than what we saw previously from Symphonic in wasting time. With multiple players stacking up here, might have been the Bandit getting misdrowned. Nope. It'll turn around. Spot the Bandit. Looks like Mason not having the proper intel from his teammates. That's kind of a oversight there, and I think a real problem. They didn't realize he was in there, and so that'll be one taken out. It'll be another one, actually, fragging out on their defense, looking incredibly good. Though Thermite takes down Skills. He played way too aggressively. They're trying to rush up, but KJ was ready for it. So the advantage that they had, maybe still alive a little bit, but they'll just continue here. Minute and 30 seconds on the clock, just about. And the Jackal utility getting used. So they'll spot out the player inside of 90, and that'll give them, an opportunity to know, hey, we've got one player, he's probably going to rotate back, and we might be able to take control of Classical Hallway here.
Wrong, but I think that was the first time we've seen on defense 2 roamers working together. That was Domestick and Skills working together in Statuary and Trophy. And I think that might have been a bit of a success. I mean, I would consider that a success, 2 for 1.
Right, and, you know, the really important thing to note here is they still haven't been able to completely clear out the roam presence. They've got 3 attackers left, and they have a Jackal. Domestic will get taken down, so that is maybe the last of the roam taken down here. With 40 seconds and some of Castle's utility still remaining, I think Fraggin out are really going to be in a good position here. Steel Krill will take down RJ. So will Bougie as he takes down KJ. It'll be last up to Cody. He'll have Goombine in his leg, forced to take that out. Spots one player, the Wamai, taking a ton of damage for his engagement. As Fraggin out take round number 7, and they go up 4-3, taking the lead for the first time in this match. Symphonic really struggled in that last round, setting up for the execute. I think they got really heavily sidelined by the roam presence from the side of Fraggin out. As far as, you know, maybe ways you could look to stop that, maybe a Nomad, maybe drone with, I guess, a little bit more reservation. It seemed like as soon as that drone was in Astra, there was just somebody right on top of it, and, you know, playing that works sometimes, but when somebody is just hiding in a corner waiting for the push, they're going to be expecting you, and they really have the advantage of surprise, and they can do an incredible amount of damage. Like we saw, Skills was able to find 2 super important early picks there.
I remember when I mentioned which team would come off the rehost, but you know, in a better spot, and honestly, it seems a little bit leaning towards Fragging out right now.
Yeah, it seems like as far as their defensive strategies, Fragging out, they really have some good stuff to show us here. I really like how they played inside of Aviator. We see a lot of times once Aviator gets taken, it's kind of game over for the defenders. But the way that the defense played it, they really weren't too worried about it. And I think it's really an important and really I would say unique way to hold that bomb site like I've never seen before, especially combining Castle's utility with an operator like Wamai in order to stop the offense, and then combining those 2 factors with an incredibly effective roam.
And I missed it, but how did Bougie get hurt?
I didn't exactly see either. Maybe it was making the rotate or somebody shooting through a wall. No Twitch on the board, so that can't be a factor.
And we'll see if that comes back to bite him. Just because, you know, in this game, it's the points, your health points and everything, your hit HP, it really matters. Especially when you can get taken down to maybe, 1 HP?
Right. There's somebody getting taken down to 1 HP and finished off. Dumbstick taken out. It's kind of chaos on this side of the map. People just getting killed back and forth. Trades coming out. Cody will go down. Bougie could get an impact kill here. I'm not sure if he's aware. It doesn't seem like it. But that'll be another player on low health. And once again, Symphonic, it seems like they come out on top here, but really, I think that was a sloppy roam clear inside of games in Aviator. It seemed like nobody ever knew what was happening, and I guess that goes both ways. It didn't seem like Domestick and Skills really had the same ability to work together as maybe we saw in the previous round, and it didn't really work out too well with them. Obviously, Mason is dead, Cody's on low health, but I mean, Cody's still alive, so that's just one more operator to be able to use in the execute. Bougie holding an interesting angle here through the doorways all the way from master bedroom. Could be able to find somebody. It'll be Loud as well, prone, trying to take down multiple players inside of connector. He will be able to find one. That's KJ off the board. It's another one from Loud, a double kill. Headshots across the board here as Loud secures this connector and removes the presence from the offense. Still just waiting here as the opportunity to collect onto Cody's on low health, and looks like the offense are going to try to creep in, maybe go for a plant inside a statuary.
And they've got to watch the time, because now we're moving down to 20 seconds. And that's it.
Yeah, so Steel Krill showing up hugely in that last round here, just swinging into the bomb side, finding 2 picks. I guess he had a little bit of help. The IQ obviously already on low health here, but as they take that round, Fraggin out there up 5-3 here. 1 round away from match point and securing for them at least a tie. What do you think is really, going wrong here for Symphonic?
I think they might have come in overestimating the other team. And we all know very well that this game does not do well with frustration. I can only imagine what's going on in their team chat right now for Symphonic. And frustration is not great. The more frustrated you get, the worse you are. So they've got to somehow find their mojo and kind of just dig back in and get those points back.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
So,
bombs.
with that round gone and in the past, we will be heading over towards dining. We saw Symphonic really favored heavily this bomb site. Out of all of the bomb sites total, it was the one they went to the most, and they really only had success on it in the first round, which you broke down to really just Symphonic, or rather, I believe it was Fraggin out. When they were on offense, they weren't really prepared, and it caught them off guard to go to that tertiary bomb site first.
10 seconds left before insertion.
So, maybe that's not going to be the same here. Obviously, with Fraggin out just taking the previous 2 rounds successfully, I think that Symphonic, they'll be ready and they'll know that this is what we're going to be seeing. And what really clues me into that is the presence of the Monty. Having a Monty, especially on Villa, is really, I would say, only used for an aviator take and for a laundry room take into dining. We do see a shield, though, and I think that's going to be the first huge problem that they'll have to overcome. They have some soft breach in the form of Ash, so they'll have to dedicate that if they want to remove it.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Well, I don't know what just happened there. Riley's kind of takes down his teammate, and that's the Monty off the board. Riley on low health as well for that, and really Symphonic are not coming out on top of that engagement. That could be, the mistake that gives away the match point to Fraggin out. If they're not able to trade things back here and really solidly put themselves back up in the advantage, this could be kind of the issue that persists as kind of the death knell, I would say, almost, of this final round here, or this final dining room round that we could see, assuming that they take this and win the next one. Jackal going to try and, maybe open up the hatch, get an angle down, get anything ready that he can for an opportunistic execute. Fragging out, they just look ready. Frankly, they've got all their angles covered. The coverage is super good. The vertical play from Symphonic is incredibly lackluster. And the roam game from Fragging out is still alive and well. There's really, I think, some glaring issues here that Symphonic need to realize. And it looks like Domestick is going to creep up red stairs. If he chooses to play this, just a tiny bit more aggressive, he has an opportunity to collect a kill. I'm not sure if he saw the Ash through the floorboard. That was kind of an interesting glitch. Slurst will take down Steel Krill, though. So, advantage is to Symphonic. They're still in the fight here with 50 seconds on the clock. Things can go right for them if they play their cards. Mason ready to open up this wall here. I'm not sure if he's aware, but the Wamai just on the other side. Some good teamwork there. It looked like they were getting ready for the call in order to open that up, combining with the Vigil. Or combining rather with Thermite, who has already opened up the wall inside of Laundry. Looks like he's still having a bit of an issue. Riley will be able to find one, though he goes down. It's a technical 2v2 here. Domestick alive. He's going to be really the last problem to deal with. Taking out Mason. That was the player who was already down. Domestick will have to make a 1v2 clutch here. He needs to shut down the plant. He'll be able to find one. It's a triple kill for Domestick. Last alive. It'll be Slurst versus Dome. Will he be able to find it? Nobody is able to win this engagement here. Thermite continuing to have problems swinging around this table. He will not be able to make it. Symphonic, the clutch from Thermite, and Slurst is able to take this round here, pulling out the pistol to shut down the triple kill from Vigil. Absolutely dominant there. So close to being able to take that, but Symphonic taking this round, that could be the momentum that they need to stay in this fight.
Now, that last scene kind of took me back to mine and Kim's little potato dance. Now, if they had just shot a little bit more, it would have just been pretty much Kim versus Pew 2.0.
Yeah, and interesting to see, Riley team kills the Montaigne so early.
Yeah.
That's not something you can really prepare for, unfortunately. But maybe taking a look as to why that happened, I think can be, again, broken down to the chaos. It seems like every time somebody tries to push into study in Aviator when it's not the bomb site, everything just goes crazy, and, whether that's team kills or a bunch of crossfires, it's really hard to nail down exactly what is wrong there with that exact execute. It doesn't seem to me like the Jackal is really having as much usefulness, though, as you might want. So I think that could be one operator that Symphonic looks to switch out. Having somebody else, maybe an additional hard breacher, something like Maverick, more soft breach, obviously Sledge available. Sledge is a great soft breacher. Or, maybe focus on a strategy that allows the Jackal to have a better use. Going for a more determined roam clear. It looks like we're going to be seeing a pre-placed Nitro cell below here. This could be either incredibly successful or just a complete waste of utility.
And I'm kind of curious to see if Skills and Domestic are going to roam again together. Seems like it.
We can push forward.
See the Monty again. Hopefully Riley's doesn't kill KJ this time.
Oh, there's the Nitro. Takes down the Jackal early. That's some great utility. Great intel, I believe they had, maybe something like a deployable in there. I'm not sure how they were aware of that, but props to them. That was an awesome play and really outside of the box. Skills able to find another one. He is traded back, though, and Domestick making the smart play not to continue pushing Monty. Just going to rotate now into the basement. I think he might choose to come up through Astro and cut them off here. Bougie holding this angle, watching Wolf Doran, waiting for Zofia maybe to peek out. If Zofia isn't ready to take this engagement, it could be the pick that really defines this round here. Nope, she won't be able to, and he'll just rotate back onto the site. Domestick is being incredibly elusive in this round. Just continuing to, hide and wait for, somebody to try and clear him out. KJ will walk into a goo mine. But the Monty being alive here with a minute on the clock and really, I would say, a somewhat good setup here. I think he's really going to be the important factor. If the Montaigne is able to really push somebody out of position, and Domestick, who is still on an incredibly long roam, if he doesn't come back soon enough, I think that'll be really what is up and decides who will be able to take this. Domestick, he's still just below here, waiting. Monty will walk into yet another goo mine. He'll be forced to walk into another one, continuing to have to take them out. And the attacker presence from the defense is really kind of a mystery to me right now. It's an ADS from the Montaigne. He won't be able to take out the player inside of the corner there. The one by peeking out, he'll be able to find him. It's a triple kill from Loud in the final seconds of that round. The match point goes to Fragging out as they secure the tie here. No possibility of a win for Symphonic.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because now Symphonic has their back to the wall. They've really got to push it. They've really got to get this back.
Yeah, and they'll be
Now-
forced. Just a quick question. It seems like there's kind of a stumbling block that the attackers keep hitting when they try and go for an execute here, and that just results in, I would say, it seems like they don't know what's happening in the last, 30, 40 odd seconds of the round. Do you have, like, any insight onto that? Maybe, I don't know.
Are you speaking towards like one particular team or another?
More towards Symphonic in their executes. It seemed like Fragging Out kind of had a similar issue, but they were able to get it under control following the rehose.
Yeah, watching what are we? So now we're on the 11th round. Watching all 10 rounds so far, it really seems like Fragging Out has had better communication, better droning out, just in general than Symphonic. Because here we have Symphonic who's rushing in right on top of a drone, or they're not really talking to each other in the sense that it doesn't feel like it's gelling as much as we usually have seen. So I'm not sure if it's an off day or if they underestimated the opponent, but it's not looking good for Symphonic right now, and they've really got to pick things up, communication-wise especially.
So, it's really... Oh no, here we go. The Nitro Cell again. No IQ on the board either from Symphonic, and I think Fragging Out is aware that Symphonic really like to do this push here. They like to take control of Study and clear out from the side, though they might be going for something a little bit different this time. Seems like somebody is in position outside on Master Balcony rather than Study Balcony, and they're not going to be as focused on clearing through Aviator. So the Nitro Cell, while it is a smart play, it won't exactly be rewarded here. It's unfortunate to see, maybe the Nitro Cell instead placed below instead of Master. I'm not sure if Symphonic would fall for that a second time. But, if you just keep a Nitro Cell alive below and the attackers, they don't clear it out, that's really just an incredible advantage because, it's super simple, but, a Nitro Cell, you don't really have to take a gunfight when you're just pre-placing it below. You just wait for your opportunity to detonate it, and then you take your pick. The Claymore getting put down here, Slurshed will deny a rotate. And another issue we could probably diagnose from Symphonic is it seems like their pushes are kind of one-dimensional. Though Riley's, I guess, trying to change that up a little bit, he does go below and take down skills.
And I feel like after all of these rounds, they should know that there have at least been 2 roamers. And he might be coming up in the game right now.
Yeah, Riley's really the playmaker in this round, shutting down both Skills and Bougie. The man advantage for them. Domestick will trade it back, though. Super important pick for Fragging Out in the course of this round. Mason will shut down Steel Krill, though. Symphonic pushing on for this round. Dokubi just waiting on the staircase. I think she's going to go for a phone call. Nope, she's got the SMG in hand, trying to push up here. She will take down Domestick, though, so there's only one defender left alive for the side of Fragging Out, and he'll just get taken out. Symphonic win round number 11, and they push us to our final round of regulation. This will decide whether or not Fragging Out are able to take a victory here, or if we go to a draw.
Really good. I mean, considering other than the Riley's casualty there, all of the other attackers had full health. So they were able to avoid, with Riley's push on the roamers, he was able to take those out and really just get all of them healthily onto point.
I think it's kind of ironic, almost, that we have to go for all 12 rounds here and the possibility of a tie exists, with how much this match was hyped up. Unfortunately, it's not a best of 3, so it's not the most competitive match, but obviously, I think both of these teams are incredibly strong, and they will see a lot of success moving into the season. Fragging Out with the roster changes they've been making, especially picking up Loud. I believe he's just a tryout now, but with how he's been successful in this game so far, I would hearken to say that he's going to be, put on the roster. Both of these teams, Symphonic, they have a good track record, and I think Fragging Out are going to be incredibly strong contenders, whether or not they're placed in the same division or, if one or the other moves down to Rutabaga. Basing that off of really what is in Villa, an incredibly strategical map, and what we've seen from both teams, incredibly smart play. Backing it up with roster changes that add more gun skill, especially in the side of Loud, who would probably, how do I word this? Be remiss if I didn't mention his success in ranked. But from the side of Symphonic as well, I mean, having Riley's on, I believe he's on the starting roster now, combined with Mason, they really can do a lot of work, and Symphonic is really a stacked team, which is why it's so interesting to see Symphonic, not way out ahead in front of Fragging Out. And I think that's just, again, Fragging Out absolutely prepared for this match. Taking a look now into this round, the operator lineup, it seems like from Fragging Out on their defenses has been pretty consistent. They like to play the Castle and the Vigil roaming. I think Domestick has played Vigil almost every round, if not all of them. Going for an aggressive window peek, but nobody there, so he won't be rewarded. Somebody comes around here. If he's able to take this pick, that could be an incredible addition to their momentum. An important thing, though, Domestick can't play, off the map or, way off site for the whole entirety of the round. He needs to figure out when it's time to rotate back, I think, because it seems like in some of these rounds where he's been on incredibly deep roams, his teammate is not even just teammate, his whole team has kind of suffered for it because he's not there in the fight to push back against Symphonic, and they've really just been kind of exploiting that almost. KJ will find the first pick here, shutting down Steel Krill, and this castle will allow for a safe plant. Symphonic have an opportunity here to do some good work, and it doesn't seem like the defense is aware of it at all. They just completely were blindsided, no intel inside of the bomb site, and the pressure from the offense just continues to mount onto the bomb site. Loud goes down, Skills as well. It's a flurry that kills Domestick, trading it back here. It's a 2v4 right now. I'll make that a 1v4. Only Cody able to find a double kill. Getting taken out. It'll be Riley, the final kill. Symphonic take round number 12. And here we are, the tie.
And as much as Symphonic thinks that this might bring them down to Rutabaga, this also could bring Fraggin Out up to Potato, which with their track record and their last season's placement in finals, could very well be.
Yeah, I think everyone was kind of expecting Symphonic to come out ahead, maybe take like a 7-3, 7-2 victory, but Fraggin Out, they proved that they're still really strong contenders. Unfortunately, I do have to go, but before that, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into our broadcast. It was a fun stream. Great to see, I guess what you can call like the TM mod teams fighting against each other. It's a really important and I would say fun rivalry to see established between both of these teams, and I hope we would see Fragging Out and Symphonic get placed in the same division so that we might have another one of these matchups later in the season. Once again,
for sure.
Thanks for tuning into the broadcast. Thanks for joining us here. Thanks, Pew, for joining me as a co-caster so I didn't have to go it alone.